Money was established for the sole purpose of obtaining power and control. Currency, the actual currency. That is the legit reason why money was created. When we act like, oh, wow, I can't believe that money corrupted, or wow, money is just robbing you. That's what it was for. That's what it was created for. This is the reality. We fear getting a woman so upset that she can lie and literally ruin our lives just like that. You can't play fair in an unfair game. The game is unfair. You're trying to play fair. You'll never be ahead. She was having sex to secure her position, and he told her, in order to keep your position, we got to continue.
You know, my mother told me when I was young, she was like, yo, you go to a bar, you see a lady, why are you buying her drinks?
You're going to go ahead. We're going to even give you a taste of this life. Then we're going to strip all your resources. You're going to struggle. You're going to starve. You're going to wish you have help. We're never going to allow you to get help. Whenever you turn for help, we're going to make sure that they don't help you. And the only one that's going to be there to save you is going to be us. And then the only way that we're going to save you is if you do what we say. Those are the evil gatekeepers. Those people deserve a different place in the afterlife. If I look at all the things that I've been through outside, what the fuck? I would rather do it inside and get paid for it.
Yeah, but then you're in captivity.
Yeah, but it's 12 months, 24 months,
Okay.
36 months.
Do that. I mean, I'm there I'm not coming to visit you.
Like, nah, I mean, look, bro, some people would rather be miserable for 2 decades. I can't do it. Yeah, money is not worth it, but neither is money worth fucking not having anything.
We're talking about $1 million.
No. That's how much money you've acquired.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, in 2 decades,
but now, mind
20
you,
years, you can't figure out a plan. You either a hustler or you're not. That's the way I see it.
Well, take out 25% of it, right? So let's say you make $750.
Okay.
Right? But then you gotta think about it. You're not ever making $750 net. You're making $750 gross, and you probably have, let's just say, even if you make $50,000 a year, your bills probably accompany for about $40,000. $10,000 is taxes. They give you maybe $3,000 or $4,000 back. So really, you're damn near breaking even year to year to year to year. You're never getting ahead. It's the biggest systematic stupidity loop that people run into. So if you ask me, I would personally rather risk my freedom and then potentially get ahead than have to live in a cycle where I watch everybody die poor.
But I don't think you're comparing the same people then, because what you're talking about is a hustler, and you're talking about somebody that has no drive, no ambition, or anything.
Yeah, but the hustle. See, the thing is, I think there's way more hustlers than we think, right? But the problem is the amount of hustlers that we have are also being suppressed. There's some people who could be great hustlers with the proper opportunities and the proper resources, or just maybe one break. Some people get one break and never go back.
So that's what I'm saying. Like in that 20 years, 50,000 a year or 50,000 a year. What about that being? He's not gonna get no break.
I don't believe that. First, let me tell you. I don't know. I don't think most people get breaks, but I don't believe that most people who are actually like above $1 million a year are playing by the books. Anyways,
no, not at all. No.
Right? So, and I tell you what somebody told me is the greatest thing that he ever told me. He said, you can't play fair in an unfair game. The game is unfair. You're trying to play fair. You'll never be ahead. If the game is being rigged, it's like, how do you want to play? Some people are going to roll over and die. Some people are going to watch others take the risk and make it. Some people are going to watch the people take a risk and fall. You saw the lady, she went viral about the one wife versus 3 wives. And then if he's faithful to one woman, that's less faithful than if he was faithful to 3 women. Make sense?
That's less faithful than if he was faithful to 3 women.
Yeah, because there's more women that he's faithful to actively.
Okay, so
right, technically by numerics, and then at the end she called this beta that only has 1 woman, and I was looking at her like, "Fuck you." Are you domesticated right now?
Of course, I've been domesticated. I like being domesticated.
All right, what is domesticated?
There you go. That's No, honestly, I don't miss having to fucking see a bitch cry over like shit that I caused, and I don't have to like I don't miss having to go through hell for however long, a month or whatever, because of my actions. And I hate having to apologize, especially for shit that I did. So I don't. I'd rather just find a girl that's likes girls. I mean, there's a lane for everything that you want, and then if the person that you're with isn't on board with that, then like you really need to step your game up and get her. If she's on your team, that means, and you are the leader. You know what I mean? She gotta fall in line. In my opinion.
In my humble opinion.
My humble opinion. Because I think there's ways that everybody could get what they want, right? And if we're talking about like a man with a girl that doesn't like girls per se, right? She probably got other kinks. You know what I mean? And or other fetishes or whatever the case may be. And if she grants you that, then like you can't rule her under the thumb. You gotta let go too. Because you got to think about like the long-term happiness that you're going to get out of what you want, and she gets what she want, and then.
Do you think sometimes people just want things just to have them because they're willing to give more? So they're like, sounds like I have auto-tune on. Sorry. Like I feel like sometimes the best way I can say is like, right, so I have 2 kids in my house, and my daughter could not want anything to drink. But if my son goes to the refrigerator and grab a drink, out of nowhere, she's like, I want juice too.
Influenced by osmosis. That's what I call it. But I'm saying, think about it as an adult, though. So think about anything that you want, right, that you don't discuss with your girl. You don't think that she may want something that she doesn't discuss with you. So those are like the uncomfortable conversations you have to have. And then once you have those uncomfortable conversations, in the end, it'll probably draw you closer because 1, that's vulnerability. 2, there's trust. And 3, like, okay, well, I appreciate you being able to be like a safe place for me to tell you these things. And then that shit can happen. You know what I mean? And then it's instead of doing devious shit that you ain't really got to do. It's so crazy. Like you really don't gotta do devious shit. I know it's hard and it's in our blood to do devious shit, but like you could really keep it super player, and you could say like, "Hey, listen, this is what I'd like." You know what I mean? You either with it or you're not. Okay, you're not. Cool. Give it some time, right? What do you like, right? Break that down to her that way. You're not fucking with me. You can fuck with the next dude. He ain't gonna tell you what he like. He gonna cheat on you, and you're gonna either A, come back here, or B, say, I should have stuck with the nigga that was keeping it real with me.
I love the fact that you're saying all this with a Future shirt.
Dead ass. Future, I don't think Future's toxic. I think Future be telling you exactly what the fuck he did with the women that said they wasn't gonna do it, on top of the women that say they are gonna do it, and are honest with him, like, listen, I'm gonna do it, and I want money. And I want the fame, and I want the diamonds. I think everybody's like in a truthful lane, and I think the women that are on some like, oh, I'm gonna wait for a man. I'm gonna wait for a good man. When really, I think that's all bullshit because they just haven't met that nigga that could get them out they lane, really.
So they want to be moved.
Not even moved, because I had this conversation with my girl. And she's always on some like, oh, morals. And me, my morals has been different. My morals just been different. So like, if you never been, put it like this, if you never been homeless,
Yeah, you don't know what morals are.
then you don't know what morals are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or we just live by a different set of morals, point blank, period. So like, I said this to her, and we had this long conversation, and she just takes stuff so personal. But I'd be like, yo, it's not personal. We're just having a conversation. Chill out. Like, you got a price.
You just don't know it yet.
And I said the fact that like you haven't come to terms with it, I'm not mad at you. That's just your fucking your moral blockage saying, no, 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 I'm a good girl. Cool.
Your moral comfort.
Yeah.
Because you didn't even get to that point where you really need to test your morality.
That's it. And I said, yo, name a number. And then she came up with, no one's gonna give me. And I said, but if they did. And then, oh, that's a bridge we have to cross. We ain't got to cross that bridge. We're having a conversation. That's your bridge. That's your number. So because I will go up and be like, yeah, bet that's the number. And you want some like second thoughting it. That don't make me worse than you. That just made me like, let's get this money. Shit.
It don't make sense to me because for me, it's like, to me, it's like, I think like men would be able to give a number real fast, right? And then depending on, the person, the number could increase or it could decrease. But for a woman, she'd be like, let's just say let's say The Rock is her crush, or Idris Elba, right? And they'd be like, yeah, so if Idris is your crush, he came to you with 500,000, you letting it go? Oh no, I'm not letting it go. Like all of a sudden, your crush isn't worth this. But I only took you on 2 dates. I only took you on 2 dates. They were $300 a piece.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was $600, and I was hitting.
And she hit you with the "you're different" though, right? I'm like, come on, stop. I hate that. Just be honest. Just be honest.
Man, look, I think going back to what you were talking about, and I wanted to touch on it. My only drawback is when I don't believe that things have to be equal, right? I realize that people will exercise equality and not desire it, but they're just going to exercise it because it's positioned or proposed. For example, let's say if I'm like, hey, let's have an open relationship with like me and my girl. She doesn't really want to do it, but she also doesn't want to tell me no. And then because I'm the one that wants to go out there, she's going to try to go out there and not like it. And then get upset that she agreed to it. And then get upset that I'm continuously doing something. But she wanted to exercise it. So my thing is, I personally feel it's only because the equality part was like, okay, well, if you can do it and you let me do it, let's try it. The benefit is for her to keep me in this scenario of having an open relationship. Why not say it's not an open relationship on both parts? Just go ahead and do you. Right? I'm not interested in going out and stepping out and sleeping around or even experimenting. But if that's what's going to make you happy and I truly want you, you do what you do. Just be safe, be smart, and just come back home at a respectful time or don't disrespect me in any way, shape, form, or capacity, right? I respect that. And it always ends up becoming that because they were only saying yes and exercising the same thing that I was doing because I proposed it. And the funny thing is, if I said, listen, this is what I want to do, I'm going to do it. But I don't want you to do that, right? Let's say I'm closing that door for them. Now I have resistance. Now she does exactly what you said. She leaves. She goes find somebody who was lying about it just for her to come back to be okay with it. So it's like my real question is, where does this come from? Where you just don't want to see that person really be happy knowing you can accept them for what they would desire, but you don't want to also, do exactly what they're proposing to make it a fair playing field.
Okay. I think in that case, one of y'all is playing Connect Four and one of y'all is playing chess. Because in the long run, how you feel and you say she don't want to do this, right? And she's only accepting it because you're giving her that form of equality. Her language in her head isn't hearing it like that. Her language in her head is like, could be, where like you are showing her your immediate cards. And she's like, oh, cool, I'm gonna keep this big joker in the tuck just for when I need it. And I'm not only that, I'm gonna keep the household very cool and make him feel that like I don't want nobody else. There's nobody else. I would never do that. But come this girl's trip, I'm holding this big joker. So I think we just give up our hands too early. And I think that's why women are better at cheating than we are.
They're both. It depends on which way you flip it.
Chess is more strategic. She's
Well-
looking at the long run. She's got to think down the line to get that king. And you thinking like, oh, I already got 3 red ones. Let me throw this 4th red one.
No. Flip it. He's thinking down the line and saying, I know what I'm going to always want. And I know that she's not going to be able to keep up this lifestyle that I'm proposing to her. And she's going to eventually just be domesticated and to me, faithful and monogamous to me while I can still be outside because I've already set the expectations. I'm letting her try it out. She's not going to want to do it. Most times I've personally experienced, most women can't do it, right? And then while I can do it. So it's like, I'm saying put your money where your mouth is.
That's all ego, though.
No. It's not. It's chess because my thing is I don't want you to be around nobody else. But if I block you off,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get resistance. But if I let you think you can do it, you're not gonna be able to do it even when you try. So I'm really winning by giving you this illusion of choice. She's playing Connect 4. I'm playing chess.
But that's because you're in a state of believing that she don't want that.
If that woman does want it, then that's different. But there are some women that can't do it even if they try, right? And there's some women that will do it in a heartbeat the second you open the door, right? So it really just depends on which side of the coin that you're looking at, you know?
But don't you think they just play their hands better? Because I personally think that they've been fed and like raised to believe in that moral compass of like, one man, picket fence, husband, everything like that. So they've been suppressing their desires for a very long time. Because like, how do women have a whole stage? You know what I mean? Like it's a stage, but like, what if they never want to give it up and you just put a baby in her?
Yeah.
You stole her choice to continue her whole stage.
No, she stole it because she kept it. But
let us know when we get too misogynistic.
So the thing is, I think there are some women that will do it, and there's some women that won't, right? I mean, the way I've witnessed life, and you just look at it from every perspective, right? When it came time to put up, it's either you could or you couldn't. Doesn't mean you didn't try, but you could or you couldn't, right? That's just the reality of it. There's situations that still follow the same in the relationship as well. So if I say, listen, I want to go mess around with other girls, and she says, fine, I'm gonna go mess around with other guys. Next thing you know, she keeps on getting upset because I'm messing around with other girls, and then she's saying, but I'm not doing anything with any other man. It's simply because she doesn't have it in her to do it. Now,
What makes you think that that's always the case, though?
Well, there are crocodile tears, right? And it can definitely be a game, but I mean, I base it on just you have to be able to know the person, study their behaviors, and study their truths. There's a great quote that I actually heard on a song today, literally, and basically it was like, the real you is who you are when no one is around. So, if your mom's not there, if your teacher, your coach, your loved one, your spouse, whomever, if they're not there, who you are is who you are when no one is around. That's the real you. So, you can tell a lot by who people are when they're by themselves. And if you think that they're going to be different because they're with you, you're the one that's playing Connect 4. You know what I'm saying? A man has the ability to exercise his power over a woman.
His power in what regard, though?
Like physical power, like in a country where the man can literally take what he would like or do what he would like and enforce with his power.
So everywhere.
It's superior. Huh?
So everywhere.
You can't do that in America. Try that shit if you want to.
Well, that's the thing. You can, and I think that's why women are partly the way they are because they have to fit in so many roles to appease a man's ego on a daily basis.
Hell no. The women are the most protected in America out of anywhere in this world.
I'm not saying you won't get in trouble. I'm not saying they don't have rights.
The trouble that you get in is like, it's like if you hit a woman in America, you'll go to, first of all, domestic violence is now classified as a felony. And it's not even just a regular felony where you can easily get a job after that. You know how many people have a hard time getting a job with domestic violence felonies?
After putting their hands on a woman.
Yes, but exactly. So imagine how much harder it's going to be to survive or have a lucrative life working when you have a domestic violence felony in America. Now, let's go to Saudi Arabia. You still go get $1 million tomorrow, easily. like it never happened.
Yeah, but that doesn't say that doesn't you don't win anything for that. That still doesn't make you more of a man. It makes you
No, I'm not
more
saying
of an
that.
animal.
What I'm saying is that women are more protected in America than any other country.
Yes.
Right?
I
So
agree. I get
because of that,
Yeah.
now we get into this chess game. When other places, I don't need to play chess with you, because in other places it's survival of the fittest. It's literally the hierarchy of real life, and that's the animalistic beings that we are. That's the reality, right? We can look at it from our American privileged, unrealistic societal perspective, but zoom out real quick. Zoom out and look at the world in whole. Look at Africa. Look at Middle East. Look at Asia. Look at even in the Caribbeans. Play with the men if you want to. It don't exist. So when we look at it from a full, we're only playing chess with women more so, not saying not everywhere, but more so here in America than anywhere else, because I don't need to play chess. I'm stronger than you. I think that the idea of it is great. I don't think that we've executed it right. For example, I can name personal friends of mine who had lost scholarships, who have been kicked out of colleges for a woman lying on. And literally, I grew up, it may be different now for the kids that are, 18 years old, 17, 16, whatever have you. I grew up knowing we were all told in a court is your word versus hers, and hers always win. That was the way I grew up. That was what was taught to me by my peers and my surroundings, right? In New Jersey, I can't speak for the rest of the country. And that was automatically eye-opening to say, well, guess what? Even if she lies on you, you're done for. So we had to manipulate and calm down situations because we didn't want to be lied on. We didn't want to be. We feared getting a woman so upset that she can lie and literally ruin our lives just like that. So I'm saying that it's not necessarily a good thing because it hasn't been executed right, but I love the idea of it, right? I love the idea of saying, okay, the smarter being wins, but you have to make it fair on both sides.
Here, it's different because women have their own careers. They go to school. They have way more rights. So I think they hold the chess pieces because they have so many more opportunities to exist without needing a man, as opposed to like being beaten. I think this is like women get educations, do all this stuff for their own goals or whatever, but also to not have to rely on a man to have their own stuff.
But what I'm saying is that we there's a time in my life I remember a long time ago where I met this Costa Rican couple, and I met them in Jersey City, and they sat there and they were like, we were just having like shallow surface level conversation, and they couldn't believe that New Jersey and New York had potholes because all their life they were taught America was perfect. Okay. And I said, oh, you guys are in for a rude awakening. So I say that to say when we talk about different places, it's important to have been there. It's important to have experienced some of these things because we're going off with narratives of no real experience. It's just hearsay. Maybe some things that we even seen on the news, in which that could be manipulated too, but I digress on that, right? So I think it's very important because you go to these places. I personally went to these places. I've personally met CEOs of these places who are women and, women who are high in that hierarchy and they look nice, but they'll bite your goddamn head off if you play with them. They don't need a man. They have their own money. And in fact, the men there say, we wish more women were like them, right? In these same countries. So I think it's important for us as Americans to start saying, you know what? Before I talk about a country, let me go there.
What?
For real. Because I remember when I first went to Colombia, everybody told me it was too dangerous. Fast forward 6 years later, I see everybody in that bitch.
I'm sure there's dangerous parts of Colombia though. Just
There's
like
dangerous everywhere. You go to Newark, it's dangerous. Like, Bronx is dangerous. Like,
Bronx is very dangerous.
There's danger everywhere. But what I'm saying is, we take one piece we take one small real fact and grow it to this totality of a truth.
Well, there is a totality in the truth that men are physically stronger and women do have to work around a man's ego 24 hours a day. That is the truth.
Work around, I feel like, is different than utilize their ability. It's entirely different. You can work around a man's ego to make sure you don't, run into danger or harm. But to utilize a man's ego for your own power is rare. It's a great skill, by the way. It's a great skill. That is the art of seduction, right? That's a great skill a lot of women don't have.
You don't think a lot of women have that skill?
No. And in fact, when I really think about it,
In every tale, woman is the fall of man.
yes, but she's the fall of man from what reason though? Dive deeper. She's the fall of man because usually the man that she used the art of seduction on was usually the weaker link. And he usually lost those wars. Look at Troy. Look at the movie Troy. Ancient Greece. But what I'm saying is, when a woman is involved, she usually gets the weaker man. Most of the men who are really macho, and we see them with the alpha red pill shit, they don't even value women enough for them to be utilized for the art of seduction. They're too caught in their own egotistical ways. The ones that she can actually utilize the art of seduction have to put that woman on a pedestal as a goddess. When a man doesn't view a woman as a goddess, you can't seduce him. He's fucking in his own world. I think there's a difference between there's people in the red pill community, and then there's the red pill guys. The thing is, they're two different people, right? The people in the red pill community are the ones who want to be what those are, and the ones who are running the community are typically what they actually are.
How about this?
Andrew Tate is running this shit, and Andrew Tate is not playing no fucking games.
Okay, so how about this, right?
Fit and Fresh don't count. They ain't running shit, and we know what they are. like, let's be realistic.
All right, so realistic. Are you ready?
Okay.
It only takes one woman.
Yeah, she gotta be a damn good one.
But it doesn't though, because that would be his weakness, right?
But here I will agree.
Okay, I'm just saying, just that red pill shit. Like Tupac had a heart and loved his mother. He was on no red pill shit.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. Tupac wasn't no red pill dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know what I'm saying now. And I hate the fact that we're even using the red pill, blue pill. I
don't even know what the blue pill is. I feel like the red pill is just so outlandish and like far east, west, north, whatever direction they go. With the shit that they say, like, who's believing that? But then there's a community, like, oh, yeah.
There's a community of followers, but it's the same thing as music, bro.
It's a cult.
Some people, all of this shit is a cult, but we're not gonna get started there. What's real is that there are people who choose to put themselves in compromising positions and then want to be considered a victim when they made a conscious decision, knowing that we're going to be putting themselves in a compromising position. That is not victim shaming when you're actually calling out the truth of your decision. Victim shaming is when somebody is legitimately a victim. They unknowingly did things, or they unknowingly put themselves in a position and, became a victim of some sort. But, people get into this industry and they've been hearing things about this industry all the time and they didn't know if it was real, right? They wanted to dip and dabble and play on Hell's Playground and got burned. But you knew it was hot. They told you it was hot. Shit, you saw the red signs and it was hot. And then you went and played there and you left with a scar. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying you knew what you were getting yourself into, whether or not you thought that you would be the one to, get out unscathed. But if I say that you consciously decided to be with this person or put yourself around this individual, knowing what you've heard from your peers, knowing what you may have even seen with your own two eyes, and thought that you would be excluded, we're not victim shaming you. We're saying that you willingly, consciously made an active decision on placing yourself in harm's way. It's not victim shaming. You do hold some responsibility for where you place yourself.
Okay, so that would be the only part of that I agree with, where you do hold a certain amount of responsibility for where you place yourself. Yes. Now, all that extra shit that people did not want and or consent to, that's what makes you the victim. Because yes, I wanted to go to a party. Yes, I wanted to dance. Yes, I wanted to have a good time. No, I didn't want to be drugged with baby oil and woken up. You know what I mean? Like nobody asked for that. That's what.
But you know it's there.
But you don't know it's there.
You do. Let me ask you a question, right? You know me, right? You know me well enough. If I was partying down in the week wake section in Newark, in the projects on a Saturday night, in the heavily gang area, or if I went to Slauson where there's a lot of Crips and I went there wearing red bandana shoes, okay? And I got shot there. I didn't want to be a victim. Okay? I didn't say anything disrespectful to anybody. Okay? I didn't put my hand or raise my voice to anybody. No. But what I did do is I put myself in harm's way, knowing what can happen when I am actively getting involved in things that typically have an outcome of violence or crime. I knew it. I thought that I could just walk. No, you can't do it. You can't go down that road and you can't do it and think that, hey, listen, I didn't ask, I didn't consent for it. We know you didn't consent for it. But if you did, I'm only saying if, because there's some people who did, some people who end up on the wrong street by accident and become a victim. That is a different.
Or the people that just went over there in regular clothes.
Clothes.
Didn't wear flag.
Yeah.
And weren't acting stupid, right?
Yep.
So your went down there with red and got the gun on you and all the other shit. That's like saying they went to the party butt naked. They didn't. They went clothed. They went there to go party, right? They had a good time, had a couple drinks, and what happened unknowingly is what's making them the victim.
No, what happened is more so like this. There's a guy on YouTube, and he goes in the worst areas and records vlogs in the worst areas in all these third world countries, right? One of these vlogs, I forgot what country he was in. I think he was in Trinidad or something, somewhere in the Caribbean. And they were like, everybody has to keep a gun on him because they come and they shoot us, and we shoot at them back. If he dies, he's an idiot. It's his fault. You can't put yourself in harm's way and say, hey, well, I was just recording a video. No. Now, same thing. Like, and you know that there's, and I hate to say it, I was in this industry. You are maybe familiar with this industry as well. You model, so you have to be somewhat in this industry as well, right?
I'm listening.
You know the people that are in the fucking industry.
Okay.
Right? So if you know consciously the monsters that you're stepping in front of, don't sit here and think that you could be one of the ones that could walk out unscathed. You automatically in your brain said there's a possibility something could happen. I'm going to make sure I keep my head on a swivel. I'm going to make sure I try my best not to put myself in harm's way. But yet you're already tiptoeing on the devil's playground. So to some extent, if I call you out on that for your poor decision making or your desperation, you have to hold that responsibility. Now, what happens to you and what transpires to you is unfortunate. And, I feel sorry for them. But at the same time.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I feel sorry because nobody deserves it. You don't deserve what happened to you, right? But what you do have to say is, well, damn, I did know better.
So you're saying it's half of their It's 50-50.
Yeah, it's your where you placed your own self. If you knew the people that you were around,
Okay.
the other people who didn't know can entirely exclude that, right? But if you know the monsters that were in the areas that you decided to walk around, right?
If you knew, yes,
if
then
you knew,
fine. If
if
you
you
knew.
knew,
But if you didn't know,
or even if you heard,
what if you didn't hear? What if
well, yeah, if
what
you
if your
don't,
friend is like, yo, we're going to this party, blah,
yeah,
blah,
those
blah.
are, and those that's even worse, right? It's even fucking worse, right? They got really the shit end of the stick, no diddy, right? but if you do know, that's why they tell, like, and it's the thing is, the world is not peaches and cream, it's not sunshines and rainbows. We're not gonna sit here and walk around like it will ever be. Listen, if you think it will, it won't. Right? If you're a woman, you still shouldn't walk outside in New York around 11, 12 o'clock at night in dark alleyways. I would not recommend that. You know what I'm saying? There are homeless people. There are people who are mentally ill. There are people who are going through issues in their life that you might just be that outlet for them. That's the reality of the world. So what you have to do is try to put yourself in the best, case scenario. You can't just go out there and play in the field like it's all fun and fucking games. You know what I'm saying, bro? You probably know stories. I know stories. We know stories, and that we heard stories for the last 2 decades. Let me ask you this question, right? If somebody knows that somebody is you know prone to doing foul play or conducting some type of foul play with another individual, and you now meet an individual who is going to be in the same space, potentially even an intimate setting with this person, and you say nothing to give them a heads up, are you as wrong?
As wrong,
Or are you wrong, I should say?
I think I'm culpable to a degree, yes. Not a large degree. I mean, is this my people?
Yeah, like
Oh,
somebody.
then yeah, I got to tell you.
Yeah, somebody that you like. No, like you don't chill with, not your best friend.
Yeah, acquaintance.
Yeah.
I just be like, yo, be cool.
But be cool, me.
Be cool. Be cool.
Don't panic.
Don't be cool over there, Jack.
All right, so look, people that are in powerful positions, whether it be a company or an industry, whatever have you, if they're flexing their power and giving or using their power to, I guess, coerce people to doing different things, or, just bribe, whether it be money, a promise of a position, a promise
Opportunity.
of an opportunity. Yeah. Um, how wrong are they? 100% wrong? Or are they like, hey, listen, if somebody's willing to do it, that person is wrong. They shouldn't be wrong for it.
I think this goes back to the whole moral compass and what they're asking you to do. Really, like, because everybody's got their own agenda. Everybody's trying to get to their end goal. And, you got the veteran that was once a rookie, and now you got the rookie that wants to be a veteran. So what are you going to do to get to that veteran status? And the veteran is like, this is what you got to do. So there's an exchange of like that. Something's got to happen. And they both know it, that agreement. So I don't know if it's wrong if it's like not on some like weird freaky shit, but if it's on some like business shit, like, yo, this is what you got to do. If it's on some business shit now. If it's on some other shit, then you could say no. Again, that's your moral compass.
No, like if they say yes. So let's say there's a guy named Bob.
I think it's already known though.
Right? So look, hear me out. There's a guy named Bob.
Okay.
Bob runs a Fortune 500 company.
Okay.
He's the CEO. There's a girl named Julie. And Julie is just, she has a little box office. She wants the big office on the top floor next to Bob.
Okay.
Bob's like, yo, I'll get you this top office.
Okay.
But I need a piece of you. And she gives it to Bob. Bob gives her the office.
Okay.
Right? And Bob says, listen, as long as you give me you have this office.
Okay.
And she decides to pull the plug on Bob and say, let's just say 1 year from down the line, I'm done giving you a piece of me.
Okay.
And he says, all right, you're fired. Is Bob wrong?
Yes,
Okay, why?
because it shouldn't have. Talking about a piece for some sex. You talking about that
Yes,
piece?
we're talking
Okay.
about sex. Like she agreed to have sex. It was 100% consensual. She was having sex to secure her position,
Mm-hmm.
and he told her, in order to keep your position, we got to continue to have sex. Not like every day, like a slave, but we got to continue to be intimate.
Yeah.
And then she pulls the plug on the sex, so he pulls the plug on the opportunity. Was it not a fair exchange the entire time and a fair understanding?
I think that's for her to decide because she gave it up. Like that was her contract. Now, if she really wanted to keep that office, she would have had recordings and other stuff, some blackmail.
That's fucked up.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying if she wanted to keep it, if she was going to play chess,
Not connect for it.
not connect for the long term, then yeah, she would have got the information.
But is it okay? So I guess what I'm really trying to get onto, or
You're trying to walk me into saying she was wrong and she
no,
shouldn't give
I'm
it up.
trying. No, I'm not walking. I just want to know your opinion. Is the person in that position, given that scenario, who's utilizing their power and then having somebody consent to actually playing that game to obtain power, is that person wrong? Like, are they wrong for using their power in that regard?
Mm,
In your opinion?
in that regard, if you're exchanging sex for an office or sex for anything, for property like that, then yes. But if she's saying, hey, I'll do these 4 or 5 projects that nobody else wants to do to show you I can do something, and then like he sees that and he rewards her for that, then yes. But like if it's just a sexual exchange, then yes, he's wrong.
What I'm saying is that my thing is when something becomes consent.
But what are you consenting to? You didn't consent to that. What you did was
No.
she was probably working. All she wanted was an office. He said, listen, I want a piece of that office to get this office.
Is you say okay.
That, not only that, but
What?
then from that point on, she knows.
Stop throwing these words out loosely. That's
she knows that like she could work her ass off. She ain't getting that. He's already put the terms. So it don't matter how much work she does. He's already said this is what it is.
But what I want to say is we sit here and we act like gatekeepers don't exist. And as much as we hate it, it's something that has always been and will always be. Now, some people have to do different things to get past that gate. Some people could just bust their ass. Some people could be an average worker, but that person who is actually in front of the gate just genuinely likes them. And they're providing opportunity because they like them, right? Some people will say, hey, well, look, I'm about to slow walk the person that's gatekeeping into the art of, and utilize the art of seduction, and then potentially even use blackmail to get past them. Some were gonna say, hey, you know what? I know in order to get to the next spot, I gotta sleep with this person who's blocking the gate. And they're gonna do it. So my thing is, if somebody is willing to do something, consent, right? With consent, the person that's blocking the gate, I don't think there's anyone wrong there. I think that that's just the game.
I'm saying
reality.
I've never, ever thought that like a woman wanted me for just one reason. Like there was always something behind it. And that's just me. Like there's something more. You want something. And I'm not even saying now in my 40s, now in my 30s, whatever. There was always a play. But I was always raised like that. You know, my mother told me when I was young, she was like, yo, you go to a bar, you see a lady, why are you buying her drinks? She's there to drink. She's thirsty just like you. The minute you come out as like the person that can provide that, that's where you start at. So if you always keep your head on a swivel for that, then I don't really think, I feel like if you set yourself up for the disappointment early, you ain't gonna be disappointed. At some point in time, you it's not that you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, but you just know certain things are going to disappoint you. And when you raise your bar for disappointment, then like them little things is kind of like, it is about to happen. And it's not as bad as I thought it was because I was prepared for it. But like you find happiness in the moments that it's not. Like it's not, you can't just find happiness in just the highs because you know it's going to be the medium. And like you got to find happiness in the medium when it's not that low.
I think it's great. When you have somebody and you breadcrumb them all the way and you string them on to the point where they don't even know that you're literally reeling them in to put them in a position where their only option is to compromise themselves, that's the worst of all gatekeepers, right? So there's some people where you'll bust your ass, they'll bring you around, they'll never give you the opportunity, and then they'll get you about 3 or 4 years just when you have nothing left to give. Because now you're at the most compromising position in your regular life. You're more likely to do you're more likely to do things that you would never do when you're in that worst position of your life. That's what the entertainment industry is, by the way. When they say that they break you, they're not saying that they break you like, oh, you get this one opportunity. No, they say, you're going to go ahead. We're going to even give you a taste of this life. Then we're going to strip all your resources. You're going to struggle. You're going to starve. You're going to wish you have help. We're never going to allow you to get help. Whenever you turn for help, we're going to make sure that they don't help you. And the only one that's going to be there to save you is going to be us. And then the only way that we're going to save you is if you do what we say. Those are the evil gatekeepers. Those people deserve a different place in the afterlife, right? I think that's a little bit different. No, than Bob and Julie. Like, he just liked her.
Yeah. You also know that Bob, and I feel like a lot of these men, and saying excluding Diddy, but a lot of these men, they're not very attractive, and they know this.
Of course.
So it's not like it's you always see the people who have all that power with the big old fat bellies because they eating good and they don't work
take care
out.
of themselves.
They don't take care of themselves, and they've got 3 or 4 girlfriends, a yacht, and all types of other bullshit, right? These people know that you don't want me, so I'm going to play the game just as well as you play the game. And now I'm going to play the game just as well as you play the game. I'm going to give you my contract early. Listen, you want the corner office? Come sit on my lap. We're going to discuss this, right? And then that's for you to decide if that. Yeah. So
I gave you the option.
It's not like these aren't very attractive men.
Yeah. They definitely always look crazy.
Now, when her fat ass opened up this briefcase and it's glowing,
and
like,
it's glowing,
you know what I mean? It's glowing, and it's just got millions of dollars.
Yo, it's the key to New York.
And she says, "No one's got to know."
Elizabeth II.
And no one's got to know. It sounds good. See, you're the people that I love having this conversation with because I don't buy it.
What if she look like Angelina Jolie?
No, she's disgusting, and she never does.
What if she look like
absolutely never does. Oh my God, the hanging skin.
The hanging skin.
And the terrible eyeliner.
She got this one? Like this, like
the terrible eyeliner that's always like caught up in the bags. It's like, oh my God.
It's clumped. I know what you're talking about. But why are we mad about what money does to people when the sole purpose of the creation of money was to obtain power and control? Okay? Money was created for that only reason. Before it was a bargain system. You had a chicken, you had a cow. I give you 6 chickens for your cow. We're equal. Right? So now what I'm going to do is establish a currency in which I can control, in which I can own. Money was established for the sole purpose of obtaining power and control. Currency. The actual currency. That is the legit reason why money was created. So when we say, when we act like, oh, wow, I can't believe that money corrupted, or wow, money is just robbing you. That's what it was for. That's what it was created for. This is the reality. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't get mad at it because do I think that it's unfortunate? Yes. Do I think that it's terrible? Yes. No. But is it the reality? Yes. Is that the purpose and the reason why the currency was designed? Yes. So if I'm going to play the game of the currency game, I know what it was made for. Now, for those that money can't buy them, whatever that price is, and it will never waver their morals, great job. The money didn't get you. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be in.
But 95% of people, or 99, or maybe 99.9% of people that have a price under a certain circumstance in their life, this is what money was designed for, and that's the reality of it. It's the hard truth. It's
That's
the only
because
truth.
To them, it doesn't signify that. I think it signifies freedom for them,
Yeah.
as opposed to and to the person who has it is the power. I have the power, and you want freedom.
That's why it was designed. A broke person can always be cool, but a rich person can't always be cool. You guys, that make sense? I can be broke and be cool, but if I was cool, it doesn't matter if I'm broke or I'm rich. If you're rich and you're a lame, it doesn't matter how rich you are. You'll always be a lame. You often find themselves, or you'll often see them trying to buy cool brownie points, and they can't do it. It just looks awkward.
Okay, Rico and I were just discussing money, currency, moral compasses, price,
gatekeepers,
and you say in actuality, I think that everybody's got a price, and you may not want to admit it out loud, or you could be an Allen and you don't have a price. But I think everybody's got a price. For whatever that is, but for that, he doesn't have a price. But yeah, this was just an episode of me and Rico just talking about price. And
let's end on a number. What's your price? 79.
Not on this camera.
288 pounds.
All right.
But clean, right?
She not clean. Well, I ain't gonna say that.
288 pounds, 79-year-old woman.
Yeah.
With the whisker mole.
It's fine.
What's the price?
She got assets, like
she got everything.
I know the price, but you got to tune in for the price. You got to watch the whole season for the price. But if you are that 288-pound woman at 79 and is willing to find a nice chocolate male to put into your will, you could DM me directly. We'll work something out.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all next week at 8 at the table.